Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Here we are today to preview Inter versus AC Milan, the Coppa Italia match. And yeah, it's a little bit of an impromptu stream, so I apologize for not letting you guys know ahead of time. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get this time to do it today, but I actually got some time. And yeah, if you guys know, a few people complain that they don't know when I'm going live, or they don't get the notification. So try to put on the what's they called, the notification icon, or the bell icon, I think it is. You have to click to make sure that YouTube notifies you. But I know that YouTube is a bit dodgy; it doesn't always notify you. But yeah, how you guys doing? Let me see who's the 10 people in the house that have joined me. Marcello, where have you found my channel, by the way, Marcello? Because you've been very regular recently, but I haven't seen you maybe like 3 or 4 months before. So you're kind of to me anyway, you might have been a silent watcher before, but nice to see you being a regular into the channel. Of course, we got the OGs in the house. Gerald, hey, Harry is able to join a live stream. That's good to see. King Darian, of course, he is one of the OGs of the channel, of course, has appeared on the channel as well. Oh no, Jack Lautaro, please, we'll get into that. Because unfortunately, King Darian, all the predicted. I've tried to look for it. I've tried to look for Sport Media Set. I went on Sky Sports. I went on Gazzetta. I went on Corriere dello Sport, and all of the bloody all of the lineups today have Jaco Lautaro in it, but Spain, but without a S. That's all I can say. Spain without the S. So we're living in when it's Jaco Lautaro starting. Matteo in the house as well. Badr, they won't get lucky twice with smashing them. Yeah. If you guys saw Inzaghi's comments in the build-up today, he talks about how it does burn that they haven't won, that he hasn't won a derby yet at Inter. He's done well beating Juve, which is, to me, to me, I'd rather beat Juve than Milan. But now that Milan have become, our main competitors, it's important that we actually do beat them. And yeah, we can't go. This is our fourth derby with them this season. We can't go without a win out of four derbies. So we had a loss, we had the draw, and then we had a draw in the last, the first fixture of the Coppa Italia. So it's time to get the win. It's time to get the W over them. Marvel Lawson in the house as well. What's up, bro? Massimo in the house, first live of course in a while. Thank you for joining me. Are you enjoying your bank holiday, bro? I'm guessing it's a bank holiday up in Scotland as well. Yeah, Tommy, no, today, no work for me today. It's a bank holiday in the UK for Easter. So yeah, anyone that's celebrating Easter, hoping you're having a good one. A Pasqua with your family and all that good stuff. Tari in the house as well. Yeah, let's get into it. Gerald, yes, first question, good question. De Vrij is back available. Let me share my screen with you for the predicted lineup. I haven't prepared any screenshots or anything today, so bear with me. I'm just going to use these. So this is Sport Media Set. I'm just using them because they have a nice graphic. But Sky Sport had the exact same predicted lineup. So yeah, it's basically, I think, what we would say on paper is our best starting 11, wouldn't we? Like, the best back three. I know De Vrij has been receiving a lot of criticism this year and he's had a dip, but I still think that our best back three is still Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni. Lord D'Ambrosio has done an absolutely great job stepping in, and Skriniar, and I've always said Skriniar, I think his long-term future is in the center of the three, not at the right of the three. But he's been, just hasn't missed a beat. Bastoni's usually been okay. Not outstanding, Bastoni. We must be pointed out. I know, especially when we come to the end of season review. You have to remember these moments of okay form as well. But yeah, best back three, of course, and best midfield. There's no denying that's the best midfield that we have. All the three starters, and Barella looks like he's returning to his normal form. I like what I saw against Spezia. I like what I saw against Verona. Brozzo has definitely returned to much better form after his injury against Spezia. Hakan was battling very well. Perisic is just being an absolute machine, an absolute beast. Hoping. It looks like Calabria. His his little dog. He takes Calabria for a walk, and usually in the derbies Perisic. So it's a shame that Calabria is actually he was an injury doubt. He might play still, but he is a big injury doubt for the match for Perisic. Dumfries. Dumfries is the one that I was thinking that maybe, Matty Doms could get a start because Dumfries in the Spezia match wasn't great. And I think it's also due to some tiredness because with Dumfries, because he's a player that relies on his, physical attributes and his athleticism. He's not a very technical player. So as soon as his physical level dips a little bit, he's not as useful as he normally would be, Dumfries. So I feel like in this match, although he's got that that rivalry now with the what's his name, Theo Hernandez, who's become one of, well, no, not one of my most hated player now. After it's him and Cuadrado. I think Cuadrado still edges it because he's just been the most hated for a while, but Theo is like right up there already in the space of a couple of years. But yeah, he's got that, that this rivalry with Theo going on, which is very interesting to watch on the pitch. And of course, he's the best kind of guy to tackle someone like Theo, who is very athletic, and having someone like Dumfries, going 1v1 against him is, I think, the best option. But we've seen, in the last derby, the Balotelli was playing in that one. Darmian did quite well when he won the penalty, remember, in the first derby. And yeah, that Matty Dom is always reliable. And that's the thing, I don't feel like, that Inzaghi has to always, I know this is a must-win match. There's no denying that, but it doesn't mean that if you rotate a little bit, it means that you're not going for the win. Like, it's when Milan in the last derby, they started Krunic, or they're starting Messias here, or they start Salamakers. This doesn't mean that because you're not starting necessarily every single player that you say is the best one in that position that you're not going for the win. I think Inzaghi has to be clever about options off the bench, because we've seen in the last couple of derbies, if you remember, we've kind of tailed, not the Coppa Italia one, the league ones, we tailed off towards the end because the afterwards the substitutions are unable to maybe keep that level, or the players in general, just the concentration levels dropped after a certain period. Like, you remember the 75th minute in the last one where we lost, and even in the other one, the one where we drew, Milan could have almost won it at the end because Inter just kind of dropped off in the last like 5-10 minutes. So like having Dumfries as an option off the bench, I think, or even having someone like Hakan as a option off the bench, things like that, isn't I wouldn't be against doing that, but of course I think it makes sense to go with the strongest lineup. But now, you're always watching on PC. Fair enough. Yeah, and exactly, this is why it's a must win. This is season defining. This derby is not just for the Coppa Italia, because this could decide who has that last bit of push, because there's not many or those matches left where you can get like an extra boost. Inter had it with the Juventus match. That match gave Inter this push where now we've recovered our form. But as we saw last time they beat us, that was the moment that our season took a bad turn. So we could do that to them, that we could ruin their season now if we beat them going on to the final. And it's not just them losing Coppa Italia, it's that confidence of like, oh, before they were thinking that, okay, we're just as good as Inter, if not better. And now, if we actually beat them, we put them in their place like we have been over the last few years, then that gives that, that brings that doubt back into their minds, which is going to be, really important to do in this very tight Scudetto race that I think is going to go down to the last day. Inzaghi didn't like the answer in the Dzeko and Lautaro question into YouTube. Yeah. I'm happy that someone actually asked him, though, for once, like a journalist. Thank you for actually asking that question. But yeah, he is with Inzaghi. He doesn't really ever give anything away with his answers. And he said that he just believes all 5 strikers that we have, Dzeko, Lautaro, Correa, Caicedo, and Sanchez, that all of them can play together. So I think it was more like just like a politically correct answer that keeps everyone happy, where it's just like, no, I think they can all play together. But I think that's not the case. I don't think Dzeko and Lautaro can play together. I don't think Correa and Sanchez, I know a lot of times he makes the substitutions, when Correa is fit. But I remember in the Super Cup, I know in the end we did win the match with Alexis and Correa up front. But I just think that you just basically playing with two false nines. And Caicedo, we don't even know if he's a footballer at the moment or not. So I disagree with him on there, but I'm sure it was more like just an answer to just bypass a tricky question. Smiley in the house, kill them off tomorrow and end their season. Exactly, bro. I think that is the vibe that I'm feeling. That if we beat them tomorrow, you can really, because their top four is pretty much secured for them, and that would be a massive killer. Really, honestly, thank you, Samir, for joining, my boy. Goddamn American capitalism. I'm on my desk as we speak. Hey man, that's why that's one of the reasons why I'm never really too sold by ever moving to the US. Like, you guys don't even, in the UK, you get those statutory, you get like minimum 20, but most places give you like 25, 26 holidays you can take off in a year. And I'm hearing in America's like the minimum you get is like 10, and they look down on you even if you take the full 10. Or some places of course offer you more, but I've just heard that in general it's not great for that. Currently sweating out uni assignments, so it's just another day for me. Oh, okay, fair enough. Uni life, I miss those days. Nothing wrong with that lineup apart from the front two. Yeah, and I was hoping Correa would continue, because again, I'm not claiming that Correa has been stellar. I'm not claiming he was man of the match in any of the last two matches. I'm not claiming that he's, been 8 out of 10 performance, but his 6.5 out of 10 performance, plus his movement, plus his understanding, plus him forcing Dzeko to actually be a striker, because he's the one who comes into the spaces, drifts out wide, interlinks with Hakan in the midfield and the defense. Just offering something different is making a difference to this Inter team. I think, it's no coincidence. I keep saying it's no coincidence that this Inter team has 100% win rate when Correa starts. 9 starts for Correa, guys. 9 wins. And, you could say that's luck, it's coincidence. It is what it is. But as I always say, go back to Inter's best form. November, December, Inter's best matches. Napoli, Roma, that streak around there. Correa was starting. Now we're coming back into form. Of course, the Juve match was a big mental confidence boost as well. But Correa coming in, Hellas Verona match looking like Limone ball in that first half. Spezia wasn't, Limone ball for sure, but team still looking good interplay between the team. It's no coincidence. So it's a shame. And usually, as I said in the past, the Correa at Lazio had a history of being very good against Milan. Last season, he scored 2 goals against them. There was a few seasons ago, he had a couple of Coppa Italia goals against them that sent them out of the Coppa Italia. So yeah, he has a bit of an affinity against Milan. So I hope he does get at least 20, 30 minutes if he even comes on as a substitute. Mattia Uncle Gang reporting in. Calcio Mercato with an excellent report regarding Lautaro. I'll check it out later, Badr. Thank you for pointing it out. Gerald tells us his lineup, which is pretty much the same apart from. Oh, you're just that's the lineup in the predicted, yeah. And now in the house, what's up? I don't mind if DD 33 stars. Yeah, same. I don't mind, but I think we have to bring the Devray back to fitness now, because obviously he's been struggling with this injury. He had to be taken out against Hellas Verona. He didn't play, or he played a few minutes against Spezia, so he needs to come back to fitness. And I think he's got a little point to make, hasn't he, Devray? He was the one who got spun by Giroud, and and I think we exaggerated that as well, guys. He got spun by Giroud. Like, these are little split-second things. Like, you saw Skriniar against Juventus, when Vlahovic did that fake shot just to get that onto his right foot, and then they went like wide anyway. But you can't say anything to, like, that's credit to Giroud, because it was a nice touch, and it's not like he would completely like bamboozled, and Devray like made the tackle, but the ball just went past his foot, and that was on Handanovic not making the save, even though it wasn't in the corner, it was central. Like, I think that he got spun by Giroud thing, I think, is a little bit exaggerated on Devray. There's no denying that, as I said, he's had a dip this season, but I think we've gone a little bit overboard. Like, imagine if Vlahovic scored that goal against Inter, like after he did that fake shot on Skriniar. I wouldn't, it happens, the fake shot. That's why, it's like it's not like he went past Skriniar. He just got that half a second from Skriniar to get that shot on goal. That happens. That's their job. It can happen to get a shot away. But the shot needs to be like good quality. In the end, like the Giroud shot wasn't even that high quality. So I think I think it's time to bring De Vrij back into the fold. Incomplete people saying Lauti is terrible, even though he's paired with Dzeko again. Hey man, Massimo, let's see in it. Let's see, because I'm sick of this narrative that Lautaro plays badly because of Dzeko. I'm not liking this narrative around Dzeko is the one that makes Lautaro play badly, because at the end of the day, he should, if Dzeko keeps coming back, he should be able to tell him, like, you stop doing that, I'll come deeper. Like, he should be, he's a veteran in this team. I know he's still young, and he's got some, you can tell he's not a guy to stay quiet. He should be able to get an understanding with Dzeko with what to do. So I'm not with you on that one, Massimo. Although Lautaro should be the one that's, Dzeko is here for what, this season, next season max, and that's it. And he's 36 years old. So we need to obviously back the guy who's the future of Inter, at least for the moment. And, the 60, 70, 80 million rated player, he's the true asset of this club. So we should be backing Lautaro over Dzeko, really. But at the same time, I don't like this kind of singling out Dzeko type of thing. Yeah, Dumfries, Hernandez, Tonali. Yeah, man, that Tonali thing where he's pushing Dumfries away from Teo, and Milan fans got gassed. Oh, he's the new Gattuso. Oh my God, he's the new Gattuso. Wow, he's so much grinta, man. Wow, I love this guy. Is embarrassing, man. People have such low, just get gassed over any little thing. Eventually want to see Perisic on the right, Gosens on the left. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people have been asking for this because they want to see. In theory, you're thinking that's, if you want to get all the best players on the pitch, this is the way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think Conte played Perisic on the right, like just a couple of times there and there, or maybe like changed, because Conte used to change between the match. Like he used to swap. Like sometimes he'd bring on Ashley Young onto the right or onto the left and move Perisic. Like, but for some weird reason, like Perisic, even though he's ambidextrous, he just seems to prefer to play on the left. But he should be able to, because his left foot and right foot are the same. But he should be just completely be seamless on that right hand side. And I would like to see it tested out for sure. Hey Diego, what's up? Mighty Ma would like to see Correa up front again to give that attacking threat. I agree. Inzaghi doesn't have a win against Milan. If he starts Lautaro and Dzeko, he's in getting it. Find it hard to disagree with you. What do you think about the away goal? How is it going to affect us? Yeah, so basically we have to win. We cannot get a draw, because a 0-0 draw means we go to extra time, which is absolutely awful, because we do not need those extra half an hour tiredness, mental fatigue in our legs, in our minds, for sure. So that's an absolute disaster, a 0-0 draw, even if you go through. And then 1-1, 2-2, anything else, and then any other type of draw with the goal scored means that we're out, because that means Milan get the away goal, which is, we know it's pretty ridiculous, the fact that we play in the exact same stadium, but they're away. And Italy in the Coppa Italia didn't follow like the rest of Europe now. We didn't, like, obviously you saw Champions League, Europa League, they don't count away goals anymore. But Italy, obviously being slower than everywhere else, this rule still applies. So it's weird, but it's not an excuse anyway. But yeah, so we have to win. That's the only way. Milan can take a draw, because we didn't take advantage last time round. We didn't even score a goal. So Milan kind of have a slight advantage in this one. Inter deserve this win versus Milan. Hopefully Correa, Lautaro start. Yeah, that's the lineup. That's the front two I would go for, Gianluca. I would go for Cola. I would go for Correa, Lautaro. And I think Sanchez came on quite well as well. I think I wouldn't be against starting Sanchez, Lautaro as well. Because Dzeko now has played the last 2 matches in a row. So I feel like, I think Lautaro deserves a start, especially for the way he came in. He's rested. He didn't play against Hellas Verona. He only played 20, 25 minutes against Spezia. So he's nice and rested, ready to go. Whereas Dzeko, as we know, and even without these games played, he should be the guy is like on his last legs. Would you have preferred getting Tonali instead of Vidal? No, I've answered this before. Whatever led to Conte getting that Scudetto to us is what I want to happen every time, every season. As in, like, if you take me back to that summer, if you tell me you take the Scudetto and, the only thing is that you get Vidal instead of Tonali. I mean, you know me, bro. I'm a Vidal fan anyway, so I'm happy. I'm happy that Vidal came anyway. But of course, it does. He's the future of Italy. But at the same time, you got to remember that when we still had hopes for Sensi at that time, and we had Barella, so we already had like 2 out of 3 of Italy's. Well, of course, with Sensi was supposed to be probable, but like future into Italy's midfield. So it would have been quite greedy of us to have 3 out of 3 with Tonali, Barella, and Sensi. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's it's one of those things that obviously is it burns people to see Tonali there, but you can't have every single player. That's the thing, guys. And our financial situation, and Conte, that was Conte's demand. I think we had an agreement for Tonali, and he said, if you want me to win the title this season, I need even Kolarov. Ask me about Kolarov. I know he's the banter. I know he's been pretty useless, but consequentially, Kolarov, Vidal, everything that led to somehow Inter winning the Scudetto. So I'll redo every single decision that led us to that Scudetto again. Sheriff in the house, thank you very much for joining. We're going to win this one for sure. I'm liking the confidence. I'm not as confident as you because of the Milan slight advantage. Because literally a 1-1 draw for them is fine. 2-2 draw, whatever, everything is fine for them. So that's for that reason. I feel like it might develop into that kind of a draw match. DiMarco will be a key sub. I hope so. Because here, if you remember DiMarco, and I think that's where a lot of the slander with him started as well. In the last derby that we lost, he came on and he was useless. He came on. We had a few set pieces, and he just blasted him away or very poor deliveries. And you can tell that DiMarco felt the pressure in one. He's from Milan. He's a local lad who grew up watching Inter in the Curva. He said so. He felt that match extra, but he didn't use that pressure right. Like you could see it affected him. Where maybe this time around he can actually come on and use that pressure in the right way, unlike last time where he kind of crumbled. How come Milan are getting the Arab money? Yeah, let's quickly cover that off as well, because obviously that's a big topic at the moment in terms of what's going on with Milan. Actually, first let me answer the question. So this is the reason why I keep being negative around what's happening this summer with Inter. Some people telling me we're going to be fine, Suning have recovered, all this kind of stuff. Guys, the problem with Inter is whoever buys Inter. So Suning and Steven Zhang, they've set this price of like 1 billion, which is what Milan are being sold for. But with Milan, if you're buying Milan, think about it as a businessman. When you buy Milan, you're getting, they still have some debts, but nowhere near as much as Inter. And their wage structure, thanks to their, they cut a lot of cost and still somehow improve the team. So they are getting a very, and in the half season accounts just a few weeks ago, apparently they even reported a profit and not even a loss. So they'll still make a loss by the end of the whole financial year, but it will be much less than what Inter's loss will be by the end of the financial year. So they have less debt, less of a wage burden, so less cost. As I said, just it's just like ready to be. That's what Elliot did. Elliot came in because they didn't buy Milan. They got it defaulted because the previous owner, Yong Hong Lee, couldn't pay his his payments, or he defaulted on his payments. So Elliot just took over. Like how if Suning don't pay Oak Tree, the company that gave into the loan, they would just take over. So that's what Elliot did with Milan. Their plan was never to hold Milan or long term and spend lots of money. That's why it burns me that the fact that these guys, Elliot, they're not even trying to win the Scudetto. That's not the aim. They're just trying to get to top 4, make this club attractive, and sell it on to the next to a buyer. and now the bloody last season they challenged for the Scudetto, and this season again they're challenging very strongly for the Scudetto. And now if they're getting an investor who's actually willing to pump, again, it's an investment fund, so we don't know how investment funds, at the end of the day, their bottom line is to try and make a profit and make money. They're not there to, they're not there as a hobby to make win trophies and stuff. But different funds that run differently, so this one might be different. But so that's the reason. In Milan, on a financial basis, are just much more attractive on paper. Like you don't have to take so much burden on as soon as you buy them. With Inter, you got the bond, which is what was it like, which was recently refinanced. There's like 300 million or something, 350 million bond. And then you have the Oak Tree loan as well, which was quite considerable. Was it like 100 something million? So you've got like this debt that's already hanging over the club, and the Inter make considerable losses every year as well. Like last year, remember we made the record Serie A all-time record of loss of like, what was it, 180 or 200? It's like, it was crazy, ridiculous. Obviously, it was a pandemic, lots of different stuff. This year will be around, they've predicted it to be around 100 million. But yeah, why would you buy as an owner? It's very difficult to find someone that's going to be investing in a team that's losing, or a business that's losing 70, 80, 90, 100 million every year. Has got lots of loan or lots of debt to take on. So it's that's the reason. That's the reason that you pay the billion, but then you have to also take on the debt. So that's the reason. And I don't know. That's what I'm saying in terms of this takeover. That's what the papers are speculating. And so Gazzetta said that they're going to spend 300 million, all this kind of stuff. First of all, even if Man City's owner came in, they can't do that because the rules in place that they literally they turn over just about like they can't spend that even if Man City's owners come in. But if they start pumping money into getting more sponsors, more revenue, and starting cash injections like the Juventus owners do to cover the losses, which is that's how you can spend all that money, then yeah. But I think it potentially is not good news for us, because I think Ellie, as I said, they weren't interested in particularly spending much money. Like they've been cutting costs every season, spending just about enough money. Like they really weren't interested in like making big money signings. They're just getting by with loan with option, like Brahim Diaz 2-year loan, Kalulu like 1 million, just bits and bobs, like good scouting, like Kier was like 3 million. Obviously Tomori was a big investment for them, but the whole team is been built very, very smartly, very efficiently in terms of cost. So I think even if these guys spend 5-10% more than what Elliott spent, like there's already more competition for us. And again, this is the reason, I didn't even know that this was going to happen, but this is one of the reasons why I've been saying the whole season that Inter have to win the Scudetto this season. Like we have to, because if we don't win it this season and Suning is still here for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, I just don't see when next we can win it, because other teams are going to improve. We saw Juventus now, again, spending money. They're going to try to improve in the summer. Milan, with these new owners, they're going to try to make a statement in the first summer. Napoli back in the Champions League might have more money to spend. Atalanta have had a year off, but maybe they try to invest again to try to get back in the Champions League. Rome under Mourinho looking, starting to look better. Like it's gonna, it's not been a good year Serie A this season, so that's why this is the perfect opportunity for Inter to add that second star, get the Scudetto, and then probably I don't know, it's might be going back to fighting for top 3, top 4 spot again, as things are looking, because Suning really just are not looking to invest at the moment. Either they can't or they're not looking to. I don't know what the answer is right now, but That's the reality that I'm seeing at the moment, and I don't want to be, be negative with you guys, but that's the truth I am seeing. That's why I think the Scudetto is so important this season. We're gonna win this. Eduardo says, jokes aside, it's gonna be a tough match again, but we are local, so we got this. Yeah, I mean, we're at home. We're at home anyway. Keston, I already shared the predicted lineup, so I'll share them with you again, just in case. Yeah, so strongest 11 for us. Unfortunately, Dzeko, Lautaro again. For Milan, Giroud, Leao, Messias. Obviously Leao is the man to watch out for. Giroud, of course, the guy who killed us last time round. We literally revived his career. He scored a goal. He got some goal against after he scored the 2 against us, then he scored against Lazio, then he scored against Napoli. And then, since then he's been on a dry streak again. So I hope we don't wake him up again. Kessie, obviously, is going to be the guy. He's either Kessie or Krunic or someone going to be the guy man-marking Brozovic, Tonali, Benacer. At the back, again, this is where we should be taking advantage because Romagnoli is injured. Calabria is a doubt. Gabbia is not a good centre-back. He's decent. I think he should be, playing for an okay club in Serie A from what I've seen of him. But, we should be taking advantage of them having a makeshift back line, although Kalulu has been very, very good this season. So it's a very strong lineup for Milan. Just the back. There was just the one centre back for them missing, really. Let me get back into the comments. Yeah, Sanchez is usually good in the cup matches as well. That's what I said. I wouldn't be against starting Sanchez. I like the way he came on against Spezia, and I think he does deserve some more minutes. Why do people think Lautaro is not good this season? Last season with Lukaku, El Toro scored 17 league goals. This season he's already on 14 or 15. Bro, we've had this conversation. Like I've already said, like he's going to finish on 17, 18 non-penalty goals again this season. That's my prediction. He's not got that many matches left now to do that, but I think he will finish on the same amount. But the problem is, Nasco, is the performances. You can't just, with Lautaro, just talk about the goals. Because he should have, if you want to talk about just goals, then he should have scored more. But then the general performances also have not been good because this season we've gave him the big boy contract. He was supposed to step up to be the main guy. So, that's what the media, if you go on my channel, I made a video about Lautaro in December where I was talking about already. I was seeing some issues because as a Lautaro fan, he was disappointing me already in December, even though on paper, the stats, the XG, all that was looking good. But if you watch the matches, bro, that's why he's been criticized. And people always, with Lautaro, the thing I'm finding frustrating is people just forget the Champions League. What about the Champions League? The Champions League exists. This guy scores 0 goals in the Champions League. Dzeko is the one who stepped up in the Champions League. Like people forget that there's also once we get out of the Champions League, everyone forgets it. But when we're in it, there's a big focus on that. But when we go to the end of season review, we can't forget the Champions League, like 0 goals in the Champions League. And he had the most shots in the group stage, not for Inter, like the whole competition, more than Ronaldo, more than Lewandowski. Like this guy had the most shots in the group stage phase. And he had 0 goals to show for it. So it's a conversation where you have to look past the numbers, especially I'm sure if you watch Inter games, you see why the criticism is there. People accept more for Lauti, especially this season without a striker that scores 25, 30 goals. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think he's ever going to be the 25, 30 goal striker, but just a few more goals, just a bit more clinical finishing from him would have been. We would have been a lot more comfortable. Like, in the previous Milan derby, if he scored that early penalty, we probably could have won that match. But he missed that, and he missed another penalty as well this season. But it doesn't help. Dzeko always looks for wide passes. Everyone looks for Dzeko in the box. Lautaro has been great, but he gets drowned out, I feel. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, you should have enough personality to get out of that if you feel like he's getting drowned. And that's the thing with Lautaro, that's why I liked Lautaro so much. I feel like he just stands up to, especially the big occasions. But I feel like in the big occasions this season is where he's missed, like the Juventus match, 70 minutes, and he had 8 touches. But anyway, I don't want to get into a Lautaro bashing because I'm expecting a big performance from him in this match. I'd rather lose the match than having to go to extra time. Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's one of those where I'd have. It's a difficult question. Like if you ask me, which one of the two would you pick? Yeah, Korea. A goal for Korea would do him the world of good. Our excuse is not scoring in the first game. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to sound dramatic, but this game could decide the whole season. No, not dramatic. I think it really could. It really, really could. It could kill us if they, beat us again, and then we go a whole season without beating Milan. And then you've played 4 games against this team and you haven't beaten them. There must be in the back of the player's mind feeling an inferiority. Like you feel like these guys are better than us. Like it's not like 1 or 2 matches. These are 4 matches you played against these guys and you can't beat them. Then you have to, question whether you are the better team, because we know and we think and we know that we're the better team. And most of the 2 league derbies we played better than them, but we didn't get the result. The Coppa game they played better than us. But overall, we know that we are a better team than them. But if over 4 games you can't beat them, are you really? Yeah, Suning out. Yeah, you guys know I'm never like too far in the extreme of any side, but I'm definitely edging more towards the Suning out now, because I think Steven just needs to accept, just drop the 1 billion. I don't think anyone's going to give you the 1 billion because of all the financial issues. Just if someone gives you 800, 900, bro, just sell. Just sell. However, that actually makes businesses more disciplined long term. This may be good for us. It is, but the fact is, Imran, is the fact that because of the debt, because of having to pay the interest to this Oak Tree, the Oak Tree loan has like a 7-8% interest rate, which is crazy high when you're talking millions. And that's why, again, this like last summer we had to make the 60, 70 million positive net income. And again, a lot of the reports again are saying the same issue, that Steven Zhang has asked Marotta and co to again make net profit. I don't think it will be as 70 million this season, but I think he's been asked to in terms of 50, 60 million again. So that's the issue. I agree. Like and every business is run with debt. Like no business is run debt free, or like most businesses run debt free. Like you can't you take on loans and you take on debt. But the fact is, this is a debt that's just they keep refinancing this bond, and then this Oak Tree loan is high interest because no one else was willing to give him, like because the financial rating from the analysts is not, they graded into, I think, was it a triple B, which is like, or a BBB minus, I think it was, which means that it's on the long term view. They don't feel like this is a safe investment, so that's why you get like a high percentage interest rate on your loan as well. So and again, we're probably going to have to cut wages again this summer, which is going to happen naturally with players leaving anyway. But again, I think it's going to be a difficult summer, and I'm very happy to be proven wrong. Like this winter, I didn't expect anything. We brought in Gosens, which I wasn't expecting. But again, I keep they've loaded that transfer into next season again. It's a loan with the obligation next year. So again, they did not spend any money this season again. So let's see. And FIFA now being stricter on the loan rules that are coming in. Actually, I'll make a video about that. But you're not allowed to do 2-year loans with like options anymore and things like that. So they're trying to becoming more strict with those. Oh yeah, this is a good good comment on that. Inzaghi pretty much he said like we will buy a Vice Brozovic. Let me see if we can. They asked him about like who do you think is the best replacement for Brozovic in your team. And where is it? Yeah, regarding significance of Brozovic, we know the importance, blah blah blah. We know that behind Marcelo, the midfielders are not specialists in his role, but they gave their all. Vecino. And yeah, we've spoken about it as a club, and we probably signed someone for the role. But right now, I don't care because we have to finish these last 40 days of the season. So yeah, Vice Brozovic, whether it's going to be in-house or a Gume, as in, that is in-house, or buying someone from somewhere else, we shall see. But is good. That's finally being addressed. We've needed a Vice Brozovic for like not just this season or last season, even before. Um, yeah. Dumfries. I've talked about it. As much as well as he's doing, he still doesn't seem like he's fully got the confidence of his teammates. And a lot of the times, you always see the telling Dumfries like go. Like it always seems like he still needs to be like remote control, like Barella or D'Ambrosio. Like people just telling him like go run into the space. You can see that they're still giving him a lot of instructions. And yeah, sometimes his decision making is lacking. I agree, Ashwin. Good comment. Let's hope we win, get the cash, sell, and rebuild with youth and younger players. Yeah, that's the thing. I want clarity with Suning now. Is like, do you want? You can't just keep saying to us that, oh yeah, like you keep selling players and then you keep asking for the Scudetto, or you keep asking, for the moons from Marotta. Is like, if you're gonna sell players, or if you're gonna go like decide on a project, are you gonna go for youth? Are we gonna go for like a Milan type project? Which I'm not against. Like as long as there's clarity that we're gonna go for younger players, that we're going for slightly lower price, lower wages, and we're going for top four. Obviously I'm not happy about that, but at least there's some clarity as a clear project. This kind of halfway point where it's like we're trying to reduce costs. We can't buy anyone. We have to sell 60, 70 million. Then you're still asking Marotta to like put a Scudetto winning side together. And then you're like, you're not actually investing you're not injecting any cash into the team. And then you're not selling to the offers that are coming in. It's like, it's a very halfway point. Like he needs to decide, like, what do you want to do very clearly. I really want the Coppa Italia. Tommy says the domestic treble is still on. I think winning in extra time would be with the extra fatigue. Yeah, of course, the extra fatigue is definitely not needed. And yeah, domestic treble is still on. And I think we should go. Definitely should go for the Coppa Italia. It's a cup that's missing for 11 years, 10 years, like since, the 2011 season, we haven't won the Coppa Italia. So I know a lot of people kind of just disregard it, but I think it would be amazing to win it, especially if we end up, facing, Juventus still have to play Fiorentina, but they're ahead. And again, if we beat Juventus in the final, that would be just cherry on the top of a beautiful cake. We should sell Dumfries and integrate Gosens. Yeah, I know. I guess you're referring to the same thing about, moving Perisic to the right. But yeah, it depends. I don't know. Like, there's reports of this, the Bayern Munich interest, but it needs to be at least, I would be open to sell Dumfries to Bayern, but it needs to be at least 30, 35 million. Like, it needs to double our money. And, Bayern, I don't know. I don't really see that happening, to be honest. I think if we get Bremer and Lukaku or Dybala, another good striker would be good for next season. Yeah, would be good. But then, does that happen without us selling a big piece? Does that happen without us selling Lautaro? I don't know. I hope it does. I hope we can get away without having to sell Lautaro, because we have to. If we're bringing in Lukaku and Dybala, just don't sell Lautaro. Look at the Champions League. If Barella, Alexis hadn't gotten those reds, we would have likely to be 2 Villarreal games from a final. Well, I don't know about that, bro. Like, that second game against Liverpool, we got quite lucky that they didn't score more goals, but it would have been different, of course. It would have been different, but we got unlucky with the draw. It should have been Ajax, and I think if we had Ajax, we would have gone further. But again, I don't think this squad is just not made for that. Like, imagine us being in the Champions League and the Coppa Italia and Scudetto. Like this, these guys would be finished, bro. These guys would be finished. Going. I know you love the Davido recovery meme, but there would be no recovery for these guys. These guys would be finished. Like Barella would be a skeleton if he's having to play Champions League, Serie A, and Coppa Italia. Okay, yeah, let's finish with the predictions. 1-0 win. Okay. I will take that. I don't know, bro. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. Is press the bell icon, I guess, and then it should give you the notification. But YouTube is a bit dodgy with that. 2-2 into win with extra time. That can't happen, or it's like it can only go to extra time if it's 0-0. Because if it's 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, that Milan wins because they have the away goals. Because it still applies in this Coppa Italia, so it can only go to extra time if it's 0-0. Mattia's being positive. 2-1 Inter. Interesting. Marcello says 2-1. Tommy said, "Oh yeah, about the depth. Yeah, bro, we don't have the depth. I was happy getting to the round of 16. I think that was the goal for the club, and I'm happy that we got there. Hoping for an Inter win. Ricky Buzz in the house. Make sure you guys check out his channel as well. And I think it's 3-0. Jesus." Sheriff says 2 goals from Hakan. Oh man, that would just bring the stadium down because they were at home, and the chance for Hakan would be amazing. Spada says 2-0 as well. Matteo says 2-1. I have a feeling that it will end as a disappointing draw, where it'll be like a 1-1. Unfortunately, just because Milan are not in great form, although they won the last game, but they're not in great form. We're in better form now, but okay, let's go for it. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 victory. Future Hendricks 3 Dzeko Lautaro starting. Hey, it doesn't mean that we defend badly when Dzeko Lautaro starting. We just can't score. But Korea with the attitude 2-0. I like it. They were going to the park with his owner Denzel, the birthday boy. Oh yeah, happy birthday to Denzel, 25th birthday. 2-1. Yeah, I'll go for a 2-1. Massimo 1-0. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I feel like Milan will get a dodgy goal somewhere. Tuku winner and Shama buys his jersey. Hey, if he does it, I will screenshot this or record this. I will. If Tuku comes on and scores, well, it has to be a winner. It can't just be any goal, but it has to be a winner. I'll buy his jersey. Yeah, 2-1, I think. Lautaro and the Korea substitute goal. I'll go for that, and some dodgy set piece goal from Milan, or like a deflected shot for Milan. I think Alexis is being mistreated. I said like a few streams ago, like I'm not sure what's going on, because he got 0 minutes against Juve and 0 minutes against Verona. So it was a bit weird to me. So I think he should be getting more minutes for sure. Roma playing well versus Napoli. That's good. We need to get Napoli out of the title race. Onana bottled there for Ajax yesterday. I don't think he even played for Ajax yesterday, bro. Do you think Fiorentina can come back versus Juventus? They can. They're in good form, Fiorentina. They definitely can. But I feel like Allegri will be able to manage the 1-0 lead and just, nil it out. Yeah, I think it will be a very tight game. We saw how tense it was, the last one. The last derby wasn't good. The Coppa Italia was very tense. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe. By the way, guys, I did a video on a channel called Vate Nerazzurro. He's an Italian-speaking channel who he's asked me to make some videos on his channel. And yeah, I've left the link in the description below. It was my reaction to Spezia, even though you guys have already seen my reaction to Spezia. But if you guys speak Italian, check out his channel. I've left it in the description below. And thank you, everyone that tuned in. As always, very much good comments and reactions from you guys. VAR pen for Napoli. Ooh, okay. Pensinho will score that. But thank you everyone for joining in. See you tomorrow for the post-match reaction. Hopefully the boys don't disappoint. Hopefully Dzeko Lautaro don't stink it up. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter.